Next up, this is my impression of the Binary Acoustics Chopin. So Timmy from Gizaudio did a collaboration, and this is the result. I love how everything is a little bit different. The presentation, the box, the packaging, all top notch. I love this little case. Everything is quality. From the little teeny baggies that it comes into, that the soft ears UCT tips, the cable, even though it comes in 4.4, is, how do I put this politically correct? Trash. The IMs themselves. Before I get into how these things sound. Okay. First of all, another shout out to HiFiGo for providing Canucks Audioholics with this review tour sample. This is much appreciated, and it's a wonderful opportunity to experience this IM that I've been hearing tons about, and it's for our impressions. You'll see mine and a few others in our group. So keep a lookout for that. Silicone Sounds, Bennett Kelly's. Keep a lookout for Kevin Davies' review. And again, our resident musician, Kyle Parker, will also give his take on these bad boys, hopefully. That being said, let's jump into the Chopin Binary Acoustics. I'm going to speak to the elephant in the room. So I had taken these on a little mini vacation with the BQEYZ Wind and the Meze Audio Advar. Now, I first look at them when they come out of the box, and they have a really big wide nozzle, 3 bore holes, and a really, really long stem. Now, fitment is going to be an issue for many, including myself. What's on here now, I've tried my entire tip rolling collection, including the stock tips, to just try and get fitment, and I've come to the conclusion that it's this shell shape and this stem and nozzle is just, per me, not designed properly. I can get it to go in as deep as I can, but the whole thing just kind of floats around in there. It's not sitting flat. Is it uncomfortable? No. If I could get it deeper, it would be better. From my education from Simon Fisk at Plunge Audio about the way ears work and our ears are shaped, this is not the right way of doing it. You can't, in my ears too, you can't get it in and then up and in unless you're like, you'd be like, it'd be at a different angle. It's the wrong angle for the nozzle. Would a different shell shape affect the sound? Oh yes, amazingly. That being said, it's not uncomfortable. And here I used the, what is this? I think they're the TRI T-tips. That's what they are. They seem to work the best for me. Big, wide open bore, kind of scooped like that. I had to put it on a different cable. I can't take the tangly mess. Sound impressions, again, an SPC cable, it would be not the right choice. And it's funny that how many of these, unless you like this, what it's doing to its sound signature, and we're going to talk about that in a bit. So that's enough about the shell shape and fitment. It's going to play a paramount on how you hear it, and fitment and comfort, all of that stuff. So good luck to you if you pick them up, and I hope they work for you. Now, enough about Debbie Downer here. Let's talk about sound. And on a bright note, these are a very nice sounding IM. If you're liking this kind of sound signature. So for me, I like warm, bassy, slightly, maybe or neutral vocals, if not slightly recessed to bring out instrumental. And these aren't it for my preferred tuning, but you might love them if you like this particular kind of sound signature. Definitely not a neutral IM in any means. It is vocal forward. It is, and so for me, it's too much vocal forward. But if you favor female vocals, you will love it. The bass attack is excellent. It really, really is. Because though that you get more vocal forwardness, it gives you an artificial sense of micro, macro details as well. So again, and some people really love that particular sound signature. It doesn't have the most amount of extension air. No, it doesn't. Give me 1 second here. I am gonna pull up a graph, and as I'm pulling up a graph on screen, I'm gonna look at mine as well. And I never did the graph until way after my sound impressions. I think that's the right way to do it anyway. So binary acoustics, Gizaudio. So looking at this particular graph we'll pull up online, it is probably predominantly 40, 50, 60 hertz bass bump. And then it's kind of got a scooped out mid bass, very flat, kind of almost till you get to 1K, where it has a nice pinna gain, gentle rise, and nice extension all the way across. There's no weird peakiness that in the graph, and it doesn't sound like that either. So it is smoother in the extended high top end, but I would also say it's definitely more vocal centric and mid centric focused as well. And I think because of you get that because of the little bit of a scoop out in the mid bass. Again, for more my preference, I would have rather saw some more energy there, and it probably would have added more weight and to vocals. So let's talk about how it presents. So I touched on bass. Bass is very textured and very slamming. It's a nice sounding bass, that's for sure. Again, is it my preference? I like more mid bass slam, but I'm not complaining on this. And again, it's the particular tuning of this IM. The mids and vocals, I find, for me, have a bit of a plasticky texture. Not tonally correct. Adds just too much information in the upper mids for accurate reproduction of vocals. And this really came to play in male vocals more than female vocals. And I found instruments like piano, like cello, sound a bit thin. Except for in kick drums. And strings also sounded good, like violin. So again, you'd have to think about what genre would these be good for as well, right? In your library. So for me, I tried to listen to everything, Vocal wise, I mean, I'm a big rock fan as well. Um, Holly Cook with some reggae didn't do well. Um, and I thought at first when I took him on the mini trip that it was I had only a certain amount of selection of tips, and so I thought, okay, I'm not going to reserve my judgment until I actually get back home and tip roll as much as I can. And I got it to be a bit better, but still, I found these ones a bit thin in the mids and vocal forward for me. I think that overall, if your preference is a very neutral IM, then you're not gonna like this one. If you like, who's this really for? I mean, I think it's more for a mid-centric, vocal forward, mid-forward kind of person who might have a really warm source. Like, so my last video where I talked about the BQEYZ Wind liking a more resolving source, an ESS DAC, this one would be polar opposite. So the warmer the source, the more thickness and smoothness you could add in, the better. On the Gishelli 4499EX DAC, there's some bursts and op amps in that one, and the Gishelli E2 amp, it really got this much closer to my happy place. And again, when you're watching reviews, you got to know the reviewer's preferences. So if something that isn't, in my library as well, if you watch any of my videos, it's, I'm a big jazz fan. I love my 80s rock. I love my grunge. I love my reggae. I love strings. And piano, and I'm listening for that. I'm listening for more correctness and tonality wise. I think that's one of the biggest things for me is the correct tonality of the IM. And sometimes I want something super colored. Sometimes I want something super neutral. And in this case, not my desired preference of tuning. But again, there will be some people and reviews that you will see that they absolutely love this. And I love it. I love the fact that our hobby is so different, that his or her ears are different from my ears, and your preferences are different from mine, and sources, etc., etc., etc. So the only thing I would say is, for binary acoustics, next time, you change up your cable. Honestly, this is slightly better than a KZ special. Or don't include one in the box. Everything else of your packaging and your presentation is just top quality. Hey, looking at their graph looks bang on to my graph, and that's rare. So next time you see a factory graph on a binary acoustics, you kind of know that it's bang on from what you're going to see on an IE 711 clone as well. And if the only thing that I have to complain about is the cable and the slightly weird fitment, again, I'll tell you that it's not uncomfortable. It's just very different. And again, if binary acoustics changed their shell shape and design to where that nozzle was a bit shorter, like a couple millimeters at least, and changed the nozzle angle where it went, in your ear and then up instead of in your ear and out, and that would make a massive difference. to sound. This could have been the champion of all champions with just those simple changes. As it stands, the Chopin is a wonderful sounding IM. Again, if your tuning preference and your sound signature is more on the mid-centric, vocal forward, you're going to love this set. And enjoy your music. This is a Tone Deaf Monk. Thank you again to HiFiGo for sending this review sample out, and I look forward to hearing some of my colleagues' impressions, because we're not all here the same way, and some of their preferences are different. So for something that I don't absolutely fall in love with, I love hearing how they do. So thank you much. This is Tone Deaf Monk, Canucks Audioholics, and I'm out for now.